Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Cut out, and it won't spring. I don't know how best to say this. The mechanism in the back is real sticky. It won't. Either the springs are shot or maybe it's dirty. I don't know. Is there some way of servicing that? Either send the part to somebody to service it, or to get a new part so that I can, can replace it, or do I have to buy the entire lock set?
Well, I couldn't help with the servicing part. That lock was discontinued almost 20 years ago. If you were to find a locksmith who specializes in that, which would be a stroke of luck, you might have a chance. Well,
I live in Anchorage, Alaska, so it's kind of unlikely because while it may be used on a lot of older houses here, I don't. It's kind of a fancy lock set for Anchorage, Alaska, actually. It's a little bit higher end than, even back in the day, it would have been a little bit of higher end. I mean, I haven't seen it around. In fact, when I asked a couple of people locally about the oval cutout, they all kind of scratched their heads and said, I don't know if I can help you with that. So the question is, they don't sell parts to it, or there isn't remanufactured parts or reconditioned parts anywhere where I could get just the back of it, or would I just have to go on eBay
to find parts for that lock?
Yeah, there's just nobody has got any laying around. Okay.
If you called in 1993, there would have been a chance. It's seriously been discontinued for that long, and I hold it as a personal grudge against Schlage that they discontinued that. Your original question is the EB. When there's a B, it adds the deadbolt above, the B series deadbolt. Otherwise, if it's just an E, then there's no deadbolt above. Now, there is some asshole, and I use that term literally, on eBay, who sells those for about $900 each. And I've tried to work with the guy, and I've tried to get a copy of installation instructions from him, and this guy was a real piece of work. So he's selling these locks, knowing that the oval cutout that you have in your door is the hangman's noose for you, and he knows this. So depending on how valuable your door is, that is an option. You could also attempt to Dutchman the door and then install a modern lock. You could also order a mortise lock with a nice large escutcheon trim on the door so that it covers that huge oval. You could Dutchman, which means basically put wood back in, and then remachine over it. No, my doors, I mean, it's a nice door, but it's in the end, it wouldn't be worth the time and energy to do that. I've seen people do it, and that's between cutting it all out and figuring it all out, making it look really nice. It looks nice on this old house, but it's, I don't have those kind of skills. Yes,
and
well said. So there is one on eBay for $825, but before you go doing that, oh yeah, it's all the same guy. I don't deny that he puts work into refinishing them, or whatever he does. Oh, wait a minute. There is a E-Series hub, which is probably the piece you need for $90. In eBay, type in Schlage E-Series, and it'll be about halfway down the page. That is probably the part that you need. Because that would be great if you could keep that EB.
Yeah, the other question, I guess, is with respect to putting a new lock in. The way it has that kind of oval offset, and where the new, if I just bought a brand new Schlage a new Schlage just handle only, because I'm going to put an electronic deadbolt in the top part of it, like a Yale or something like that. Or maybe a Schlage, I don't know. But just the handle set is only, it's like a $90-something item, and but of course it takes a 2 1/8 hole. And I looked at it and I thought, I probably could drill the 2 1/8 hole. I'd have the space underneath, but I couldn't figure out unless I took the whole thing apart and actually drilled the hole, whether I'd still have a hole in the back of the door. It looks like I would, that the plate wouldn't cover it, but I can't really tell. Do you have any experience with that?
I can tell you that you will not cover the holes that are already in the door with any modern Schlage grip. That's part of the problem. That's
the problem. Okay. All right. Well, the other thing I suggested to my wife is, I could easily go down. I have a friend who has, he has a little fabricating thing. I said I could just put a sleeve over the door and then you wouldn't see any of those holes, and I could have. And she's like, no, that looks like a commercial, one of those door kicks that you put in. Like, I have a commercial building, and all of our doors have a metal sleeve.
That's your last option.
They're not nickel. They're just all they are. The nicest finish I could come up with is like a brush aluminum, like you use on a door kick or something like that. And she was like, no, I don't want that.
Well, your E is not nickel. It would be satin chrome. They didn't make nickel in that lock ever. You could get
this one is
steel.
Polished brass. This one's polished brass. She wants, and it's pretty worn out actually. I mean, I don't know, the finish. I mean, I'm kind of surprised it doesn't work better, because when I did take it apart and I put some WD-40 on it, try to loosen it up a little bit. But what I realized was, even though it was moving just fine, the spring mechanism was not, when you put the thumb in, right, you're pushing the thing up, and what it was not doing, it was not returning very, very well. And I thought, well, I'm not an expert at locks, so this is really beyond me. But and it only really goes together one way. I mean, so it wasn't like I wasn't putting it together right. I mean, you could make the mistake of not turning the little thing to the left or the right, and then it won't, then it only opens one way. But I did it both ways to make sure I didn't install it incorrectly, and it still kind of is sticky. You'll push the thumb down, and then the bolts stay in the thing, and it just won't return very well. And it's been a progressive thing. But I think also part of it is it's wearing. I mean, the inside of that polished brass is about half worn off, and so while it is a nice item, my wife's like, well, if it's going to cost money, a significant amount of money to fix it, don't do it. Just get a new one. But it sounds like I need to get a new door, unless I can get a hub that'll really work. So you guys don't sell used ones or anything like that, or reconditioned ones, or
I can't get my hands on any of them. I would love to. They're not available. Here's the bottom line. The part that you need is likely on eBay. It's $90. Although it's not a buy it now, there are a couple of bidders. That's number one. Number two, the good news is the latch bolt, if that's the problem, they still make that, and I can sell that to you. It's probably about $60. So those are the only two items that could really be giving you this trouble.
What's the latch bolt? What is that? I don't know what that is.
The thing that sticks out of the edge of the door.
Oh, okay. Oh, that thing? Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. That is still... Yeah, that spring, I did take it apart, and that spring seems to be working just fine, which is weird. But the only other thing I can think of is that little key that goes through the deadbolt part of it. Maybe that's worn out. I don't know. I couldn't figure that out. But it did seem like the spring in the hub was the two springs on the side. They seem to be a little sticky. And I did spray it down a few times with WD-40. I don't know if that's the stuff you're supposed to use or not. That's all I got. And it was nice and loose, but not real springy. You know what I mean? It didn't really snap. And so I'm wondering if that's part of the issue, is those two little springs, which I'm sure you can't buy anywhere. You can never buy those little parts.
Well, you could try. I mean, McMaster Carr is going to do a good job with supplying, really not odd, but just things that are well off the retail big box store path.
What's it called? McMaster?
Carr, C-A-R-R. McMaster, C-A-R-R. If they don't have the springs, they don't exist. That's a literal statement.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate your time. I will try to follow it up, and then the only other thing to do then would either go with a new door, or if I could find, there isn't a place that sells super oversized trim or roses. I guess they're called rosettes for Schlage stuff. I didn't see anything on their website. Like you couldn't order a jumbo back plate or something like that. Like you can do with electrical outlets. You can buy them in 3 different sizes. If you made too big a hole, you could buy a big jumbo plate to fit over the electrical socket. But they don't sell stuff like that.
They do. We do in the sense that send me a sketch of what you want, and I can have the factory put it in their CNC turret and punch it, and give you the exact preparation that you need. We do that fairly often.
Oh, okay. Well, so that I could maybe use a regular Schlage. I just have to cut out the 2 1/8 because it is the hole that's there is it's oval, but it's only 2 inches wide. I think 2 inches wide. Maybe it's less than that.
I thought it was 3.5 holes, but
no. The length of it is the length of it is, but the width, because it's an oval, right? At where the lock would go through, I think is only 2, because I took the lock out and tried to put it through the hole, and it was like, this is about an eighth too tight. So I was going to just go ahead and cut it through and install it, and then I said, I don't think this is the plates aren't going to cover, and so that was the issue with it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the template for that lock. I know exactly what the dimensions are. It's 1.5 wide, and it's 4.5 tall.
Yeah, so the 1.5, I'd have to it's not, I don't think it's at the very top. It would be kind of about 2/3 up, maybe 3/4 up, and then cut the 2 1/8 hole through the door, right? And then it probably would be fine.
And then you would drill the hole, right?
Yeah. So, I don't know if that's worth doing. So I got to look at it. A cost of a new door is probably $500. So I'm not sure it makes that much sense to fool with it as much as I think it does. The door is painted white now, and that's what my wife wants it. So it's not exactly brain damage to buy a door without a frame that she likes, paint it white and stick it on her. And by the way, they all come pre-drilled.
Well, that's the thing. You're still going to have to do some light carpentry. Whether you prep for hinges and a lock or you Dutchman and then drill a 2 1/8 hole, comes back the same way.
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is, if I just buy another door, just buy a door off the shelf without it in a frame, they're already pre-cut to
and that's what I'm
many
saying.
of them are.
They're not going to match your frame.
Oh no, they'll match the frame. It's going to be I won't use the EB. I'll have to use a new Schlage thing. There's not going to be anything.
You're going to order a wood door prepped to match the existing locations in your existing frame.
Yeah, because it's standard.
Okay.
The door standard. It's not exciting. It's pretty. It's just a white door. It's got some nice inlay in it, but it's not a $2,000 door. It's probably a $500 door. And so compare that to spending $800 or $900 from this guy on eBay or whatever. It may not be worth it. It may be more worth it to try to buy the hub and fix it. And if that doesn't work, then buy a door.
I wouldn't take for granted that the locations of a door will match your frame. I would confirm that before you bought the door.
Oh yeah. I know. But the where the strike latch goes into the door frame should be that would be the same height as all the others, right? As the old,
No.
The new ones, right? No,
not at all. No, it could be, but that would be pure coincidence.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll have to check that out. Thanks for telling me that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I will. I'll send you an email I'll tell you what goes on.
I'd love to know. Thank you very much. My name is Richard.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And to you. Bye-bye. Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program.